I just saw the new horror movie Together, and I'm so excited to talk about it. Together stars Alison Brie and Dave Franco, and they produced it as well. And it was directed and written by Michael Shanks. Franco and Brie play Tim and Millie, who are a couple who have been together a long time and they've never gotten married. They have some problems in the relationship, namely that Tim feels emasculated and like he isn't his own person. So I could have some context going in about Franco and Brie's background in horror. I watched the 2020 movie The Rental, and that movie is also about a fraught relationship and takes place in a forested area, just like Together does. So I think that's some interesting context because that shows that this is a subject matter and setting that Franco and Brie are clearly interested in. Like the idea of being uncertain and having problems in a relationship and going somewhere where you'll be isolated. To them, it seems like that's a compelling situation for horror to ensue. Together first brings in the horrifying elements with some fun and interesting imagery that if you go see the film, you'll recognize that it's reflecting that the relationship feels like it's dead, or that the individuals feel dead in the relationship. It goes beyond that specific imagery and adds a lot more imagery and symbolism as the film plays out because it's largely a metaphorical horror. And I really enjoyed this about it and had a lot of fun with that aspect. And also, the plot is very intriguing. And within that plot, I found certain scenes really compelling. One of my favorite aspects of Together is the mix of genres that it employs, which are horror, comedy, and relationship drama. Going along with this, I really liked the multifaceted tone that it has. I think it balances these tones super well, being disorienting, uncomfortable, scary, funny, and sad. And it also shows characters experiencing emotions that correspond with those tones and makes me feel that variety of emotion in tandem with them. So, what did I think of the horror elements? The film starts out with this definite uneasy feeling and then brings in some more concrete creepiness, which escalates to more visceral scariness. And I think that this is really well executed, that you can feel the pain, you can feel the discomfort, the stretching, the cracking. So before I conclude, I just want to shout out a few more elements that stood out to me. All the performances in Together were great. I would call them seamless. The cinematography was very skillful, and I really like the score that was composed for this. All in all, Together is one of my favorite horror movies released so far this year, and it will probably retain a spot on my 2025 favorites list. I recommend it if you want to see a movie layered with imagery and displaying relationship drama, horror, and comedy. And that's all I have to say about Together. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you subscribe so you can see more videos from me in the future.